Hey man, what's good people? Welcome back to another reaction video. And today, man, I want to tell you the secrets that I learned that lets you live the greatest life ever. So this is how I elevated my career, doing 9 figures in my business every single day, and how I elevated to a completely other level that most people aren't on. So real quick, I just want to give a huge shout out to spray bottles of water that spray bottles of water, man. Let's go. So the first tip I want to give you is always be the one who is. You just want to be who you are, but you can't do that. You have to be who is. And when you are what you are, it becomes apparent to the higher complications that you are what you are. You understand me? So you need to lock in and get on that level. That's really one of the biggest things that I learned, and it's really helpful in situations like these. So the second tip I want to give you today is never settle for obligations that you must conquest. You get what I'm saying? You think Theodore the Great ever settled for conquestation? No, he was on a different level. So he went up the ladder instead of down the ladder. That's what you need to do in your business, in your career. You need to conquestize the standardizations and learn new things. Learning is the key to growth. And you know what they say, right? The first step to change is awareness. You need to be aware of the steps that you can take to grow. Okay? And to be aware of those steps, you have to conquestize. Search it up if you don't know what that means. The third thing that I want to give, and I am going a little bit quick. I don't have a lot of time. I have a meeting in a little bit, so I'm trying to keep it, pretty quick. I don't want to drag on the video and add more fluff than I need to. I just want to make it helpful so you can just come back whenever you need to, click on this video, watch it quickly, and just understand the methodologies that I'm teaching you, okay? And that's really what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to keep it short and simple, nice and sweet. You know the saying, keep it simple, stupid. I'm stupid and I'm trying to keep it simple, okay? So the third tip I want to give you, this is some elite knowledge that I learned from reading, actually. I read a book. It was by, who is it by? Like Robert John, I believe. And he's a great author. You should check out his books if you're interested. And one quote that stuck out to me in all of his books, he always starts the books with this same quote, and that is, stack bread, stack chips. If you're not stacking, you're lacking. Get hip. That's a bar, right? You need to write that down, okay? So stack. If you're not stacking, you're lacking. Get to work. And what that means to me is you need to stack. You know what I mean? Stack wins, stack chips, stack money. Whatever you're doing, if you're gambling, you need to stack chips, right? Because if you're not stacking chips, you're losing money. So you need to be stacking chips to be earning. Okay? You get what I'm saying? And you might want to write that down. So you want to stack the chips so you can earn. The higher your stack of chips goes, the more money you have. It's that simple. And it reminds me of something that my mother used to tell me. Bread without yeast does not rise. Get it in your head. Get that in your head. Bread without yeast does not rise. So where is your yeast? That's your drive. That's your motivation. That's your power. That's everything. And the bread is your money. You got to take that money plus motivation. That equals rising in the bread. You get what I'm saying? And then you need to let it cook. That's how you turn dough into bread. You get what I'm saying? This is elite level, like mechanics. This is a different level. And I recently elevated to this level. I wasn't always on that level, you know what I mean? I was on a lower level before, and I was trying to figure out how to get out of this rut that I was in. But I realized it's not a rut until you make it a rut. You get what I'm saying? It's not a problem until you make it a problem. You need to view it as if whatever you have now is what you want to have. You have to view it as the same thing on the same level. You can't, what's the word? You can't pedestalize what you want. You have to keep it on the level that you are. You have to be that thing. You get what I'm saying? That's some knowledge my mom gave me about bread. Tip number 4 I want to give you, and this is the penultimate tip. That means second to last. So when you wake up in the morning, right? Your phone is usually at 100%. Why is that? Because you charge it the night before. You got to charge your mind the night before. So if you're thinking about, oh, I have this meeting tomorrow, charge your mind the night before. You got to charge it. And you want it to be at 100%. That way you can go into that meeting and just, bam, just hit it. Just go amazing. That's what you really need to do. You need to go into that meeting like you've already succeeded. And you need to just, it doesn't matter what happens as long as you're charged 100%. You get what I'm saying? You need to be 100%. And that might be things like plugging in your brain, because sometimes we forget to do that. You have to just plug it in. You know what I mean? And make sure the other end of the cord is also plugged in. You want to just, stay hydrated. That's important for your brain function. What else? Here's what I do. I like to sleep the night before, and that really helps recharge you. That's a big step. And try and get sunlight. You want your circadian rhythm to be in sync. You get what I'm saying? To be in sync with the world. If you're in sync with the world, how can you be out of sync? You get what I'm saying? If you're in sync with the global clock, how can you be out of sync with yourself? You got to be tapped in. That's knowledge. And the final tip I want to give you. The final tip I want to give you is listen to something good. You know what I mean? We get caught up in, oh, I got to do this. But we never think, what am I hearing? You got to hear what you want to hear. You got to hear the good stuff, the goodness. You got to hear phenomenalities. You got to understand what's going in, because that's what goes out. If you're not listening to something good, how can you put out something good? You want to put out goodness to the world. And some good stuff I recommend. I want to recommend Sam Smith. He's pretty good. Rihanna, she's pretty good. She's very good. Sam Smith and Rihanna are very good singers. If you're putting good singing into your ear, you're going to put out good stuff into the world. You get me? It's that simple. So yeah, just taking good stuff, pause, and just put out good stuff. That's really all there is to the world. And by good stuff, I mean, helping others, kindness to others, all types of things. It's just wonderful. It's just completely wonderful. And that's really what you have to do. You just have to put out goodness into the world, and goodness will come into your world. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, let me know, and leave your notes in the comments if you have any insights, any knowledge that might help us. Because we're all on a journey. I don't know more than anyone else. I'm just a student of life. So if you have any notes, any comments, let me know. I'm interested to hear it. Amen. That's all for today. Peace.